Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm going to be talking a little bit about conation, and what conation is basically the way that we approach things, why we do things the way that we do. And conation has to do with our instincts. We all approach a problem differently. Some people excel when they approach a problem in one way, other people excel when they do it a different way, and that all has to do with your conation. What is not a part of conation? Firstly, your cognation is not a part of conation. Cognation has to do more with your intelligence, your education, knowledge that you have obtained. That's often confused with conation because the words sound similar, but that's nothing to do with it. The other thing that is not part of conation has to do with your affectation, your feelings, desires, emotions, values, all of those things, like whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, that doesn't have anything to do with your conation. How is your conation determined? There are plenty of different ways to determine your conation. One that is tried and true is Kolbe A. It's basically something where you can go in and you take the test, and it gives you a bunch of different questions, and you answer each question with the way that you are most likely to approach the problem and the way that you are least likely to approach that situation. And from these answers, the test determines your conation. What's unique about Kolbe A is that it uses 4 different modes of action to describe the way that you approach things cognitively. So they're fact finder, follow through, quick start, and implementer, and I'll go through each of those in more depth. Fact finder is the way that we deal with information. So if you are more likely to just want a general overview of a situation, you don't want to sit down and read through all the paperwork and everything, then you usually would have a low fact finder score. That means that you tend to simplify things more. That's not a bad thing that you have a low score. It just describes the way that you approach that situation. So if you have a high fact finder score, that means that you really like to find the facts. You really like to dig in and get all the information before you approach the problem. Follow through is also similar. That has to do with the way that you arrange things. It has to do with the way you organize things. So if you have a high follow through score, that means you really like to have a system. You really like to have regulations. You really like to be organized. If you're low follow through score, that means that you would tend more to adapt to a situation. You excel in that situation. Quick start has to do with probability, the way that you approach a situation that you don't know the outcome of. So some people tend more to want to eliminate risk in a situation, that they tend more to stabilize. That's a low quick start score. If you excel when there's a lot of risk and you get to improvise and make things up and make it work, then that is a high quick start score. Implementer has to do with the way that you handle physical things. So if you would prefer to think about an idea and then give it away to somebody else to put it together, that's a low implementer score. That means that you prefer to imagine. And if you prefer to put something together hands on, go visit a site, go experience something yourself, then that's a high implementer score. And there is no bad score, whether it's high or low. That doesn't mean that a low score means that you suck at fact finder. That's not the way it works. It works that just describes the way that you approach finding facts or any of those other things. And conation is actually very useful when talking about teamwork. If you have a team together that all has a similar conative profile, you're going to get a bunch of people who all want to do the same part of the project. Everybody wants to do the research and they want to put together the graphs. And nobody wants to be the person to write the summary or put together any of that. So that usually is not a good team to work with if you have the choice. There's also opposite. So when you work with somebody who has opposite conation from you, there's nothing to link the way that you both work. So if I really want to find the facts and you just want the general overview, it's hard for us to communicate that. So a group that has synergy is a group where you have both somebody who is a low fact finder, somebody who's a high fact finder, and somebody who has kind of a middle score in fact finder. And they can link the two of you together and you can all work together. this is useful in the workplace, it's useful in your daily life. It can help you to eliminate um, time that you spend that isn't efficient for you. So if you have a high implementer and you're busy trying to find all the facts, but your fact finder score is low, then it's more useful to you to be the person who is out on the job site or the person who's out doing things and getting hands-on experience. That's going to be where you find the most rest, where you find the most success. So hopefully this can be useful to you in your life and you can get a chance to take the Kolbe A and figure out what your conation is.